what happened in Oval Office was bizarre. I know Abhijit sees, is the other one who says that Zelensky deserved it. But I sat out there feeling there was no need to do this in open.
No. People don't
in
get
the open.
context.
8 minutes, one by one. So let's, if you guys saw the Munich speech and then you saw what happened in Oval. Did you see both?
Yes.
Okay, so one by one, let's go. Let's begin with Anand and then go.
And nobody interrupt.
Munich speech was fantastic. Thank you, Paji. Munich speech was fantastic. Again, I say it had a sprinkling of double standards, but ठीक है उसको छोड़ो 10% था. America, by and large, Vance is also a free speech kind of guy. I mean, there are excesses that happen, but that's another matter. It was an amazing speech, no doubt about it. Absolutely brilliant. And if anybody had any sense, they should have supported Vance making that speech.
Oval Office?
Oval Office, Zelensky made a complete fool of himself. He sold his country because I watched, again, entire 45 minutes of the entire thing.
Yeah, I did.
The controversy is surrounding the 5 minutes.
Just the 5 minutes.
At the end.
Yes.
In those entire 40 minutes, Trump is so
genial. He's
unbelievable.
And he said,
I think क्या हो गया कुछ खा लिया पी लिया क्या इसने मतलब
Zelensky got
Trump-like.
He got triggered.
Yes,
he
was constantly
You're
triggering.
all getting this wrong.
And
one by one.
At the end of the day, Trump is right about one thing. Ukraine does not have the cards. Zelensky did not have the cards. Now, when you know it...
But he didn't say that till the end. He
right.
didn't wag his finger till the end.
He was giving him a leeway, long rope. See, basically it comes down to this. In today's world, as a layman, you have experts here, no doubt about it. As a layman in today's world, if you want to save your nation from complete slavery and subjugation by another nation, you have two options. One is nuclear. The other is you join an alliance like NATO or any other alliance that will fight for you. Ukraine was deprived of both. So what is the option that it has? So I have always been on day one against the invasion of Ukraine by Russia because Ukraine has a choice. What does it want to do to protect itself? That every sovereign country must have. So Ukraine, of course, it's not nuclear. It was, but those were Soviet Union bombs. It had to return it legally. So it's not nuclear. The only other choice it has that it wants to protect Ukrainians is to join an alliance. What's wrong with that?
Okay, Sushant, Munich and Oval Office.
Yeah, look, I think Munich, I agree with what Anand is saying. This was a speech which should have been made 10 years back to wake up the Europeans from what they were doing.
It's too late.
It's too late. They're too far gone down that road. And in fact, I would even go to the extent of saying nobody takes Europe seriously insofar as strategic issues are concerned. I don't know who tweeted that. I don't know, Abhijit, it was you or somebody else. But I was just seeing Luxembourg has an army of 1,000 people.
990.
And they are saying that we must resist Russia. One hyper missile will come and Luxembourg does not have an army after that. Phil Liechtenstein. Forget these. ये तो बहुत छोटे वाले हैं. Britain, they have an army of 100,000. Britain is still living in this nostalgia when the sun...
power.
No, they don't have an army of 100,000. They have an army of 56,000, which is smaller than the New York police
Maybe it's become even 56. Maybe they've cut some income.
Smaller
Today,
than the
Germany
New
is
York
talking
police
about
department.
giving nuclear weapons to the other European partners.
So let's talk about... So the German army, which the famed German army with Guderian and Rommel and those kind of generals... These are guys who were in Afghanistan, and when the firing would start, they would start crying and they would start calling back home. These are not armies that anybody takes seriously. Maybe the one good army is the French army has done some work. The Brits still did some fighting. They also operate from, the way Delhi police operates. Criminals ke saath bhi hain aur unko arrest bhi kar rahe hain. That's the way these guys do.
And we'll only do in daylight. We'll fight wars in daylight. And we'll have beating retreat in the evening.
I think what Vance said, number one, on Europe was true. Number two, what he said upon the way freedoms are actually being crushed in Europe in the name of freedom. You were talking about Romania yesterday. And we're seeing that. We are seeing, the kind of not deep state, that big brother kind of thing. कि आपने tweet कर दिया, आपको जेल में डाल दिया. What is happening in Britain? I think that is the definition of a fascist state. Yeah. And, with all this Labour Party leftist bullshit which the Labour government gives, just look at their attitude. So I think everything Vance said, 100% with him. On what happened in the Oval Office, Again, I think this was building up. See, Trump's idea is that, look, we need to end this war in Ukraine. We need an off ramp. There is a stalemate right now. You can continue with this stalemate for as long as you want, but it's not leading to any solution, and it's diverting our attention from much more important issues that we need to start focusing on. So end this war, forget this. Let's try and get some kind of a deal out here and move on. The Europeans are simply unable to understand that you need to move on. On their own, they are worth nothing to nobody. It's only when the Americans have their back that the Europeans become something worthwhile, right? Otherwise, what are they? They're a place where they take 2 months of holiday, yaar. Who in the bloody world takes 2 months of holiday?
This is actually true.
Yeah, that's true.
In
France
Delhi,
does.
4 days a week.
at ORF, we were the first thing Sameer used to tell us was, देख, June, July में ना कभी भी कोई भी European embassy Delhi में or any European embassy or even the foreign ministry in Paris or Berlin never send them emails, because if you send a mail on the 1st of June, you'll get the reply only on the 1st of August.
I'm going to come on this point, talking about taking time off and work-life balance.
Murthy,
and what was said, about the second generation opening family office, not spending time on the shop floor. I'm going to come to that, but first let's come to the Munich and then jaldi se bol do.
So I heard his 14th Feb speech. I think it was a masterclass speech. I agree with most of the points you said. Europe is completely curtailing freedom. European leaders, as JD said, are out of touch with what their citizens want. JD, but they're completely out of touch.
Entry हो गई वो.
They're out of touch with what they want.
JD.
They're out of touch.
That sounds like
अरे I'm sorry यार, मजाक कर. अच्छा यार, एक मिनट, इसमें मैं आना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ.
ये ना मेरा जिगरी दोस्त है. ये साला जरा सी बात पे सेंसिटिव हो जाता है यार. सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर. अभी
वो कभी-कभी सीरियस बात करता है तो उसमें बात इंटरप्ट किया कर.
हाँ यार.
Okay?
When he's talking frivolous stuff, you can interrupt. When he's talking serious stuff, don't.
So I just think that look, I lost my chain of thoughts. I think the Europeans, the European leaders are out of touch with what the citizens want, and this whole business of suddenly now wanting to take on Russia, and it's actually varying with what Macron said, with what UK saying. We will now give the nuclears, shield.
yeah.
So now, look, again, what Jaishankar's father had said, that I think there are about 200 nuclear weapons each, France and UK, and that can be a deterrent.
Yeah, one minute. Jaishankar's father, matlab, you're talking about K. Subramaniam, or are you talking about Dhruva's father?
No, Jaishankar's father. I think that, okay, you have a deterrent, 200, 300 missiles, it's a deterrent. But now you're again challenging Russia without an army, without NATO, or saying that America may not come in to our backing. You're provoking Russia. I don't think that's a wise thing to do. I think the interest of Europe should be that this war ends. I don't know why Europeans are sort of pushing this war to continue for a longer time, because the only people dying there are the poor citizens of UK and
okay, quickly, we've got a whole bunch of topics to Zelensky.
First,
I feel just
एक Zelensky का 2 minute का हाँ.
I feel that again he was so disrespectful, not just in the Oval Office. When the president who's trying to end a war, on whom you're dependent, is trying to tell you what to do, if you are saying that what Trump did is bad optics, and I do agree to an extent, you also don't behave in that way by running the person down. If you see his body language, throughout he kept sitting this way.
No, उसके बाद वो पुतिन क्या 3 days, 3 days ऐसे.
Will he do this?
कौन है भाई?
Yeah, he didn't have to go on about Putin.
Let him finish.
The fact that Americans would be mining the critical minerals there is security guarantee enough. That is your security guarantee. Putin's not going to attack you. I agree, part of NATO, not. That's a different discussion. He's trying to end a war. He needs the critical minerals. He has his own politics to do. You can't sit there and say Putin's a criminal. First you call him a criminal, then you call him a murderer. What is the guarantee, President? Terrorist.
And repeatedly he kept on
Abhijit, before you come in, just one
this
point.
when Trump went on saying you can't keep using
Abhijit,
words
one
like this,
second. Just one more point before you come in. On this whole Zelensky thing, this is a point I wanted to make earlier. See, Zelensky has this thing that I am the boss of the world. Everybody must suck up to me. Everybody must come to whatever I want, they must give to me without any questions asked. And I am free to insult anybody at any time.
केजरीवाल.
Look what he did when Mr. Modi went.
Yes.
Modi should not have gone. Yeah. But anyways, he went for whatever reason. the kind of statements he makes after the visit, right? The kind of statements Ukrainian diplomats have been making. Yeah, I have my own interest, okay? India does not exist so that this goddamn Ukraine can exist. Did the Ukrainians ever ask me when they were supplying tank weapons and all kinds of other stuff to the bloody Pakistanis? Did they ever ask me? Did they ever care about my security
and
interests?
they put a blockade on us receiving ship engines
Right.
from
So,
them.
so when these buggers were doing all of this, now they expect that I should damage my relations with Russia, I should damage my economy, I should do everything so that this bloody clown of a president that they have can continue, with his war fighting. This is, I think, Trump, maybe Modi should have called it. Maybe he did the right thing. He was being diplomatic. But Ukrainian diplomats, Ukrainian leaders, and especially Zelensky did need a put down, which I think Trump administered, and that was perfectly valid.
See, Anand, you keep saying hypocrisy. To be a human is to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Humanity is about hypocrisy. Okay, that is a natural state of things. There is no human, including you, that does not have a hypocrisy at some level. Okay?
Less
Number
level.
one. Maybe less or more, we don't know. Second, look at where Trump comes from, the 80s. Now, the 80s, the defining war was the Iran-Iraq war. Do you know what Iraq was the aggressor at that time? America and the West played down Iraq's aggression, under what legal clause? It is called the accretion of events, which is Iran had been doing a whole year's worth of provocation, and then Iraq had a right, because it is called accretion of events, to go in and hit them. You look at anything before 1990 when the invasion of Kuwait happened, National Geographic, Time, Newsweek, they will all say the origin of the war is disputed. Iraq claims it was an accretion of events. They don't even accept till 1990 that the Halabja chemical weapons where Saddam Hussein killing his own people with, they went on doing this through the 80s. For 10 years, they disputed who the aggressor was in the Iran-Iraq war and who carried out the chemical attacks at Halabja. Donald Trump is now doing the same thing with Ukraine. Who is the aggressor? Who is the aggressee? Okay, so again, history lesson, go back and read your own newspapers and magazines. National Geographic, Time, Newsweek. Show me one place from 1980 to 1990 where they put the blame on Iraq.
No, what is your point in this?
The point is, first of all, Trump comes from that mindset that you can shift goals, which is they do all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? Number one. Number two is this is not just an accretion of events starting with Scott Bessent's visit, with J.D. Vance and this thing, Marco Rubio at Munich, or even there, if you go through the 49 minutes, every 7 to 10 minutes, this fellow's interrupting and answering questions that were not asked to him. Okay.
Wait, now he got triggered for why?
Remember, listen, and this goes back to Trump 1. One second. Where
closed door meeting?
No, not just the closed door.
Biden's son.
No, nothing to do with Biden's son. That is all additional. That he went overboard to. By that time, the Ukraine brief had been completely discredited, and Zelensky tried to resuscitate it. But that is not it. Trump was the first one. Obama gave them. You remember that statement he made? Obama gave you sheep, I gave you javelins. Obama went on thrusting treaties at the Ukrainians. Trump said, I am going to give you javelin missiles, which is what defeated that on the first month of that invasion when they surrounded Kiev. So for you to tell him that he does not know what security guarantees are, it shows you to be a bloody idiot. And it is insulting to him.
In his own office.
Because you are diminishing him and what his actions he has taken. Second is what Tehseen said. It is the minerals deal that acts as your guarantee. I am not going to put troops, but I'm going to put American workers on the ground. If one American worker gets killed in Donetsk or Lugansk, you're declaring war on America. What more? This is an idiot who is so cocaine-addled. He doesn't know what Trump has done for Ukraine in the past. He doesn't even know. An idiot who doesn't know what a security guarantee looks like does not deserve to be president. This fellow needs to be regime changed. And it is a pity that Ukrainians are suffering because of this jackass.
Do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.